As a psychiatrist, a lot of people come to me who've been on diets forever and have put all of their energy into the diet and given it their all, but it doesn't succeed, and the weight keeps going on. And so knowing about subtle energies, I believe that energy is a missing piece to overeating. Many people who are very sensitive to energy and tend to absorb the energy of others run to the refrigerator and pack on the pounds simply to gain more weight and more fat to buffer negative energy. And I think this is a missing piece to why diets fail. And if you find that you're an energy sensitive person and that when you're around negativity you tend to overeat, let me explain to you what's happening. Around the turn of the century, faith healers were typically very obese women who weighed 300 pounds, 250 pounds, and what they would do is they'd do laying on of hands with their patients and take on all the pain and all the distress of their patients, but they felt they had to be very fat to do this because the fat buffered the negative energy. And so yes, fat does buffer negative energy, but it's a very unhealthy coping mechanism. And so if you notice that you tend to overeat and you're very sensitive and you tend to take on negative energy, I really strongly suggest following some very basic guidelines not to do that. Number one is you have to protect your energy and maintain your personal space. If you're around too many people or overwhelmed by too much all the time and you don't have that time to go in and be alone and meditate and replenish, then you'll be more susceptible to being overloaded by energy and then overeating. And I also suggest that you keep a meditation pillow by your refrigerator so that when you feel like going to overeat, instead of overeating, you could sit there and meditate just for a couple of minutes so that you can center yourself instead of impulsively just reaching for food, especially carbs and fats and sugars, which will give you that instant boost. Instead, to find that center inside so there's not the need to put on the extra padding. As I'm very sensitive and I'm very thin and I absorb energy, but by practicing centering techniques, I found that I don't have to go to the refrigerator and overeat when I'm feeling overwhelmed and overloaded. And so the whole idea is to really notice, number one, are you a very sensitive person who tends to absorb energy? Observe what happens to you when you go to family dinners. When you're around energy vampires or draining people, do you find that you're getting hungrier and that you're going for the carbs so that you want to go to the refrigerator and eat? Just notice that in yourself without blaming, without any shame. Just notice that and then say, okay, maybe I'm around negative energy and I'm absorbing it, so that's what's causing me to go to the refrigerator. At that point, be very kind to yourself. Say, okay, I'm going to breathe this out. I'm going to separate myself from this draining person. I'm going to replenish my energies. I'm going to take a bath or get in water if I can, because water is a great way to get rid of negative energy. And I'm going to create more positivity in my life at that point to counter the negative energy rather than overeating. And I think what you'll find are these tips will really stop you from going to the refrigerator as much, and that you'll learn how to really bring yourself back to center rather than using food to do that.